Hi guys, Scott from Sunseeker Caravans here. Today we're going to talk about our Sunseeker range of vans and how we fill our water tanks and use our water, onboard water, on our tanks themselves. So we're basically behind the caravan, the rear wheel, where everything happens for the filling parts of it. So basically what we'll talk about first is how we use our caravan when we're in a caravan park or at home and how we fill it using a hose. So what we need from that is the hose, and then we're going to go to our mains connection point just in here. So basically what we do is we plug that in and then turn on our water, and that will send water to everything in the van. And it's just the same as at home. You turn on the taps and it works. Turn the taps off and no water comes out. I'll speak a little bit about the valve itself and how it operates from there, and then the next one we're going to do is how we fill our water tanks and use our caravan when we're off grid, when we're not connected to our mains water. So if we want to have a look inside, up the front up here, the first one we've got is our first main fill connection point, just the same as your garden hose. We plug a hose into there and it goes through this one here, which is a one-way valve and pressure reducing valve. One-way valve, which means the water can go in, but it can't come out. Pressure reducing means if you're wherever you are at home and your mains pressure is more pressure than what the caravan requires, that limits that pressure, slows it down the pressure, so we don't break valves and break things inside. So basically, to use our van in a caravan park or at home, plug it in, turn it on, away we go. While we're here, we're going to go around to our next set here, which is this set of valves here, which is how we fill our water tanks. This caravan has 3 water tanks. It has 3 valves. 1, 2, 3. Basically what we do, plug our water in and turn it on, and then we would turn on one of these valves. Let's say this one here, turning it on. So it goes in line with it, so the water will come through here, through here, through here, to the bottom of the tank, fill up. And once the tank is full of water, and we see on our gauge inside that it's at 100%, we then turn that valve off. But the water has got to come out, or the air has got to come out somewhere, and we have these 3 sections here. And they're basically an overflow. So what happens is when the water goes in, the air has to come out. Once the air's come out and we see water coming out, that means our tanks are actually full or over full, and the water is coming through it, out through these valves here. So once one is full, we turn it off. Then we will go and fill our next one. We will open it up, fill it, water goes through it. Once it comes out these valves here, we are full or over full, and once we're 100% on our gauge, we come back, we turn that one off. And then likewise for the third tank, open, fill the tank, water goes through, and then we shut it from there. That's how our tanks are completely 100% full. From there, we'll go around and show you how we use our water pump. Okay, so we're at the back of the van now, and we have our water pump, and we have 3 valves. So what we need to do is go in and turn our water pump on inside. Then what we need to do is draw water from our water tanks up through our pump and then out to all of our parts in our van. So let's say this is the number 1 tank we want to draw water from. It's at 90 degrees, which means it's off. We want to turn it in line with it. So the water will come up through there. This part here just comes around to here, through the pump, and then out and out to all of our van. Now, what we've got to remember is that if this water tank gets empty, what it will do is will suck air, not water, through. So your pump will continue to run. When it continues to run, it won't shut down. When it builds up full of pressure and full of water, that means it's full and it will shut down. When you open the water tank, your water inside, when it releases water out, the water pump drops pressure. It'll start up to try and build that pressure up again. It'll continue to push the water out your taps until you turn them off. When the taps turns off, builds the pressure up and stops. Back to our valves here, you can either have 1 open at a time, or you can have 2 open, or 3 open. My suggestion is always only just have 1 of them open, because when that one is empty, it's going to suck air, and it doesn't matter whether your other 2 are full, the air will go through and your pump will continue. If your pump continues to run but all your taps are off, we have an issue, and that issue is probably your tank is empty. Turn that valve off. Always turn your valves off when they are not in use. Okay, we're on the screens for our water tanks at the moment, and we can see freshwater tank has got 25%, 2, 75, 3, 50%. We've turned one of our valves on at the back, and we're going to show you how you turn the water pump on these systems. It's pretty simple. We need our power on to start with. So it's blue lit up, it's power on. We come across here to pump number 1. We just touch that. We can see that's come up. From there, we'll see down over here with our tap, turn our water on, it continues to run. When we're finished, we turn it off. It's pretty simple. That's how it works. Once we're finished with our pump and we're finished with our water, we go back up the top up here, press that, and that is off. Now, just to show you something, if our pump is off and we try and use our water, it'll turn on, but eventually it'll bleed out of our taps and eventually go lower and lower and lower and lower till it stops, because the pump's not working. We need to turn our pump on. Okay, what we're going to do now is I've turned the pump on inside, and we can hear it running. And what you can hear it do is when that pump slowly goes down and stops, that means our pump is ready to work. When I open up my valve inside, like I just done now, we can hear the pump running. I'm going to turn this valve off. The pump will continue to run for a little bit until it fills up full of pressure. That's how they work. If the pump continually runs all the time, that means you have an airlock in it or something like that. Please do not leave your pumps running all the time, because if the pump is running all the time, it means it is airlock in it, and it can damage and or have failure to your pump. Okay folks, if you get an airlock in your pump, that means your pump's running all the time and no water's coming out. I'm going to show you how you fix it. So basically, you've got to have your water tanks full, or at least have them half full. Turn the water tanks on at the back. We're going to turn our water pump on, just there. Now, when I open up our valve here, I've got very little water coming out of it, although this one's worked fairly quickly. But if you have no water coming out of it, open your tap up, hot, cold, turn it off. Listen for your pump, it'll start slowing down. If it slows down and stops, we know that we have bled all of our water out of it. You may want to go to your vanity basin and open it and shut it a few times. It might spurt a bit of air out, but once they're full and all the air's out, full of water, it should be primed, and your pump will slow down and stop. Just going to show you something else. If we turn our pump on up here, we're going to turn the pump on. Now we're going to quickly go out the back, and you'll see where the pump is to our water tank turned off. Our pump's running all the time because there's no water coming through it. That can damage your pump very quickly. Opening a valve up, drawing water through it, you'll hear it'll slowly slow down. It just stopped then. That means our pump has stopped, and it's stopped running, it's going to stop heating up. Avoid damage to your pump. Just another little trick that happens on our battery systems and our operating systems. If we have a look up here, we want to turn a water pump on, but this whole screen is turned off. If I try and turn that on, it won't work because I have not turned on my main power button. When I turn my main power button on, then go back and turn on our pump, hey presto, it works. You have to have your main power on before your pump will work. Another little trick I want to show you is to make sure that when we're filling up our water tanks, we fill them up to the required level. We don't overfill them like everyone used to do in the past. Looking here, first tank's 25%, second tank 75%, third tank 50%. If we're filling up our tank too, what we do is we plug our water in and start filling it up, and then we come here and watch when that goes to 100%, and when it gets to 100%, we go back down and turn that valve off. If we continue and let that run, what it'll do is it'll fill the tank up, and then all the overflows and everything, and it'll pull that tank out like a balloon. Can pop it, can break it, can do damage. When that gets to 100%, it's time to turn it off, not when the water is pouring out everywhere at the back.